Hey everybody, it's ZM and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Last time we arrived at Gerudo Town, we're here to help out Riju reclaim her town from the Gibdos and the Sand Shroud. And while standing next to her, you can actually tell that Link is the same height as hers, as she describes Link to be, but still kind of funny. Anyways, let's now speak to her. Look, Link. The Gibdo's hive, just like the one that appeared near Karakara Bazaar. Both the hive and those tornadoes were reported to have shown up at the same time too. But it's not only the one hive. There are 3 to deal with, each just outside the town gates. I don't need a clairvoyant sand seal to know a massive Gibdo attack is coming. Right now, those hives are durable and nearly impervious to attack. But when they open and begin releasing Gibdos, they're vulnerable. The Gibdos won't wait outside our walls forever. So, when they launch their attack, that's our chance to strike.
Come to where I am.
Again, you heard it, didn't you? Come, is it calling out to us? Lady Riju, Link, is something the matter? I thought, it's nothing. Link, for now, we should focus on protecting Gerudo Town from the enemies at our gates. We must prepare for battle. Alright, it looks like we're gonna attempt to defend Gerudo Town from the Gibdo's attack. And I absolutely love this kind of quest that we have to do with Riju, so let's go ahead and speak to her and continue this along. So let's see what she has to say. The Sand Shroud, the sudden appearance of the Gibdos and their hives, strange events keep happening, one after another. And we saw Zelda near Karakara Bazaar, but she hasn't been seen anywhere around Gerudo Town. There is something bigger going on, but for now, we need to focus on the problem at hand and prepare to fight. Link, I need your help again. Speak with Boliera and the other soldiers and help us organize our defenses. Alright, so we don't actually have to speak to Boliera, as we could just speak to Riju straight up and begin the battle. But before we do that, there are a couple things I do want to do to prepare for this battle. The first thing is make my way over here, as there are tons of supplies that will help us with this battle that we could pick up, which is pretty nice. First thing I want to pick up are the arrows, as those are needed to actually command Riju to strike lightning at the enemy, as we have to shoot with our arrow first. So we definitely need arrows. Let me go ahead and throw one of my weapons because I don't have enough to pick up any of these since my inventory is full. I feel like I'll use the claymore. I don't need the scimitar nor the spear, but it is nice to have the option to pick them all up. I'm not going to fuse any to them either though, because they're all decayed, so they're going to break really easily. I'll just use the claymore, and let's drop the Lizzle shield for the Gerudo shield, just so it can fit with the, you know, shield and sword that I have. I want to kind of have a Gerudo set. So there we go. That looks pretty cool. But again, it's decayed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fuse something to the claymore, just not one of the other decayed weapons. Let's pick up what's inside these chests, and I do believe this one will give me what I want to fuse with it. Yes, an electric Lizolfos horn. So there we go. We have all 3 elements. You know, we picked up fire before, we found an ice one, and now we have an electric one, and I absolutely love this, as yeah, they pretty much give you elemental weapons, which is super badass, and it's gonna make the weapon look super cool. Yeah, look at that. I love how it's glowing. You can see the shock when you attack. And yeah, overall, it's going to make attacking the Gibdos a lot easier, as elemental attacks help us cut through their really thick bandages. But anyways, with Topaz as well, we can make electric attacks with it if we fuse it to a weapon, which is pretty nice. But I'll hold off on that one for now. We got some other things that are pretty useful to pair with your arrows as well, and even some Zonite capsules. I'll be honest, they're kind of giving you a bit too much. You don't need to prepare this much. We're kind of over prepared now with all of the stuff we were given. All we really need are arrows and Riju's lightning strikes. I'll be honest. I'll just focus on using those. I don't really need any other weapons. So yeah, the arrows are really what's important. Now we can't speak to her now since we're definitely ready, but I do want to show this off. So if we make our way to where all the Gerudo guards are, we can actually command where the Gerudo guards go, including the cannon that's over there. So with Gerudo Town having 3 ways to enter it from the north, east, and west, we can actually pick where the guards go. So we have spear guards, swords guards, and the cannon. So yeah, the troops themselves. So we'll have the spear troops go, I guess, west. I'd say the only thing I care for is the cannon, because that really does help out. And I want to say the east is where we'll put the cannon, because you'll see there'll be some flying Gibdos, and I feel like that will help us combat against them a bit. I don't really know. It doesn't really matter, I'll be honest as well. This is, again, kind of over-preparing. If you don't pick where they go, the game will automatically do it for you, but it doesn't matter. Now let's do sword troops. We'll have them through the north gate. Overall, this is going to be pretty easy, but, you know, why not be prepared and at least check out the options we have in store for us. So yeah, it's cool to see that the troops are standing where they need to be, and now we are ready to let Riju know that it's time to battle. So I guess once everything is ready, then the Gibdos will attack. So they're waiting for the most convenient time. Obviously it's a video game, but you get my point. Let's go ahead and let Riju know that we are ready. Are the preparations complete? Yes, they are. So let's do this. Link. I'm curious about the voice we heard earlier, but... Situation report! Large number of Gibdos are moving to attack the town! Before anything else, we'll need to deal with this. Oliera, they have the town surrounded. Stay strong! This threat is also an opportunity. Fight well, and we can wipe them out in one battle, hives and all. Prepare yourselves for battle. Let's show them the true power of the Gerudo. Everyone, protect our chief, protect our town. Alright, let's do this. Let's protect Gerudo Town and Riju. So here we go. The battle begins.
Outside town. Shore up the defenses at the gate.
Okay, we'll do exactly that. So, yeah, the goal is to protect Riju as she can be attacked by the Gibdos, so we have to be careful.
From the hive at the east gate. Stop them.
And, okay, that's cool. You know, the east, the north, and the west gates are the gates we have to, you know, watch out for, as those are the 3 entrances to Gerudo Town. So, yeah, first thing we can do is obviously strike the Gibdo with Riju's lightning, as you can see by the lightning itself, the radius covers even outside Gerudo Town, so it makes it really nice to strike them anywhere within this battle. But okay, I'm just gonna ignore what Riju has to say, and I'm actually gonna wait. I know this is not the time to sit and dilly-dally, but I want to show off what happens. So good thing this gate is opening up last. What we're gonna do...
West gate. Let's hit it with lightning.
Okay, yeah, let's see this now. So the hives are opening up now. Let's hit it with lightning, as she said, and there we go. Yes.
Enemies are nearing the center of town. Prepare to attack.
Okay, it's nice that she talks a lot, but I feel like I'm talking over her. I want to let her say her thing, because it's nice to hear the bits of voice acting we do here.
Enemies from the hive at the east gate. They're heading straight for us.
Okay, even though I'm not listening to anything
We're the last line of defense.
she has to say. But it's nice, because it makes this battle feel very serious and intimidating, and we gotta act fast. So, as you can see, we don't really need to act fast. Maybe not the time to talk either. I didn't mean to do that. I want to pick the Gibdo bone. But yeah, let's go ahead and now again wait for the hive. So if you attack the hive when enemies aren't coming out, you won't be able to damage it. So we need to wait for Riju's lightning strike to come and hit it. Yeah, there we go. So once we see the holes open up where it releases the Gibdo is our chance to hit the hive, and that is when it's vulnerable, like she said earlier, and that's what makes it super easy.
The enemies won't stop coming until we wipe out all the hives.
Okay, and we'll do exactly that. So now our goal is to make our way to the final hive over at the west gate. And as you can see, here are the moth Gibdos that can fly. Those ones will easily reach Riju, and yeah, we want to be careful as they can attack her pretty easily. Now what's cool is you can actually launch from the cannon as well. Now let's go ahead and attack this as
all we have to do now is clear out the rest of the Gibdos.
Yep, and let's do exactly that. So yeah, that was the last one that was opened up. Let's quickly rush over to Riju. I don't want her to get hit, as if she does fall, you lose, and that's considered a game over. But yeah, we'll be fine. She won't get hit. Whoa! Luckily, she does have guards around her, of course, which do help. But specifically, the moth ones can kind of avoid the guards and go straight for her. But look at this. Look how freaky these Gibdos are. All of a sudden, the Gibdo will decide to crawl and move super fast, which is absolutely terrifying to look at. So let's quickly get rid of them. They're just deciding to crawl like that, which is pretty freaky. This is like their last resort now. So they're rushing over to her. But yeah, we can easily take them out. And that should do it. We're almost done with the rest of them. Once you take out the hives, it becomes super easy. As, yeah, there's just a few left. But look how creepy they are when they crawl on the floor. It's just, yeah, so weird and creepy to see. But there we go. That should do it. Hopefully that covers the rest of them. If there are any more, we'll easily take them out. Riju's attack makes it so nice as, yeah, we can attack what's around them. We don't have to be precise within our strike because of the lightning, and that should do it. There we go. I love that victory, hurrah.
Oh?
Link, I'm incredibly grateful for your help in battle. On behalf of all the Gerudo, thank you. I suspect the Gibdo threat will calm down a bit now that we've wiped out the hives that are surrounding the town. I noticed that the hives crumbled into sand when we destroyed them. I wonder if the Gibdos have some kind of connection to the sand. Or maybe they're connected to the sand shroud. Did they make it? Did they summon them? And then there's that voice that you and I both heard. The voice and lightning. This reminds me of something. Link, there's something you should see. Come down to the mural in the underground shelter. Alright, so it seems like Riju is piecing the puzzles together, and we're gonna have to help her out as she's trying to discover what that mysterious voice is. Obviously, having been through this already 3 times, it's not much of a surprise of what's going on, but we gotta play along and figure it out with her. So let's go ahead and make our way down to the underground shelter, as that's where she went, and then we'll speak to her. Again, I freaking love how amazing the underground shelter looks like, the architecture, everything about it. It's so cool and cozy and nice, you know. But yeah, let's go ahead and now make our way to Riju and see exactly what she's trying to figure out. Link, you came. Look at the mural on this wall. It is thought to have been painted by ancestors of the Gerudo. It appears that when they created it, they were also using the shelter to hide. Perhaps the Gerudo of the distant past were also beset by some great disaster. Anyway, the writing on the mural says, standing back to back with the throne, witness red pillars across a vast sea. Unite the pillars in the light to reveal the lightning stone and open the way. You who can hear my voice, come to me, I await you. That mysterious voice that spoke to us. It reminded me of this mural. The image must represent a location of some kind. and the engraved words are a riddle to discovering its location. It's the only explanation that makes sense. Alright, so it looks like we gotta help Riju decipher this mural and see what it entails. And to start off, let's first ascend right above us, as doing so will take us just south of Gerudo Town, which is where we need to go, we're gonna continue down south from here. But first, I guess we gotta deal with this unbearable heat. Now, obviously we're wearing the Gerudo headband, but that isn't enough. We're gonna need something else to cool us off. Actually, I'm just gonna take off the headband and we'll use a different method of cooling ourselves off, because there are many ways to combat the heat, whether it is with clothing, or obviously we have food that we can eat that helps out, and another option would be with our weapons, of course. So I guess I could do something about that. You know, the electric Lizzle Blade won't do really much in terms of the weather, but what I do want to do is use an ice weapon. So let's go ahead and, yeah, drop this like stone. I feel like it would fit with the rod. You know, this kind of looks cool, right? The staff. What would be on a staff is like an orb, right? And the like stone, it fits perfectly. So there we go. That will give us just the amount of you know, fresh coolness we need next to Link that will allow him to withstand the heat. Obviously, if I was wearing the headdress, I wouldn't necessarily need the weapon. Just the one tier of food would do the job. But I kind of like how the Ember headdress actually glows within the heat. It looks super badass. You know, we look like Dinrail with the glowing horns. So I'm going to continue rocking this. But yeah, if you continue a bit down south from Gerudo Town, you'll find where you need to go. And this is where we're going to find the first pillar of light that Riju was speaking of. All we need to do is go ahead and bash this open, as it will cause, yes, light to reflect onto this mirror, which will reflect forward on where we need to go to next. Now let's go ahead and swap back to our ice weapon so we can continue dealing with the heat. And, you know, still rock the Ember headdress, because again, I just love the way it glows within the heat. Sadly, it only glows within the heat, but it's still pretty badass. But okay, so yeah, if we continue following this pillar of light that is shooting off across the sandstorm, we'll figure out where we need to go without really needing a map. Obviously, if we do use these upwards drafts to take us outside of the shroud itself, we can then see the map for a little bit, which will help us pinpoint where we need to go. But as you can see, yeah, our goal is over there. We can kind of see from the distance where we need to go and what we're going to solve. Pretty straightforward, even though, yeah, it might seem a bit confusing because of the shroud, but yeah, it shouldn't be whatsoever. So yeah, our goal is to do something about here, because the light intersects with where this tower should be, but the tower isn't reflecting the light that's hitting it. So let's figure out what we need to do by making our way to the pillar that seems to be next to it. And I want to quickly deal with these Gibdos. I love how we can use Inobo just to kind of shoot at them. Like they kind of looked like pins, you know, when you go bowling. And we just kind of bowled with the Inobo. But anyways, yeah, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and make our way up here, and I can easily do so just by ascending. We don't even have to climb up, as yes, we'll find a lever that will allow us to have this actually rise up, which is what we need to do so the mirror can actually hit the light, which will cause it to reflect in a different direction. And that's essentially the gist of this quest we're supposed to do. So there we go. That has done it, and now it has created another pathway that we're going to want to follow. It's pretty interesting, to say the least. Now, before we continue down this pathway, let's actually make our way up here, because of, you know, using the lever and having this tower rise up from the sand, not only does it have the mirror reflect the light, as you can see, but it will also give us some air to make our way through this sand shroud easier. So it came from there. Now our goal is to make our way to where the light is now shooting across, and we'll figure out what to do from there. So yeah, don't get lost. You don't want to confuse the two. It's pretty easy once you kind of have a understanding. But let's go ahead and make our way a bit higher up, just to get out of the shroud itself, so that way you can actually see a map. You can also see shrines. We will look into some of these shrines in a bit, but for now let's focus on the objective at hand. So yeah, now let's jump off. We're out of the shroud, but within seconds, we're gonna, you know, slowly make our way back into it. But as long as we follow this light, it will be very easy. So we're just following the new light that is reflecting from the mirror of the tower we just had rise. And, yeah, that will help us discover what we need to do next. I'll be honest, this whole quest line with Riju has to be the weakest out of the other 3 Sage, you know, quests we've done. I feel like it's kind of like the afterthought one. You know, you don't really engage too much with Riju. As you can see, we kind of split off from her, and we're solving this on our own. But it makes sense with how Riju tags along with Link and her abilities compared to the other ones. But okay, now that we've made it to this tower, let's go ahead and make our way up. This is a bit complicated in how you solve it, but it's also straightforward. Again, we can see another shrine to the distance, and we'll look into that later. The sand shroud is not making it easy, but first thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and open up the cracked wall here, and I'm just going to swap back to my headdress. As much as I enjoyed the Ember one, might as well just wear the Gerudo one for the safety of you know, dealing with the heat, especially if I'm going to keep swapping my weapon back and forth as well. I don't want to have to deal with also, you know, needing to swap back to the ice weapon. But we might, just for safe measures. But okay, so yeah, the reason why I destroyed this is because there are some platforms, these Zonai hover stones, which will help us bring these up. As you can see, these are actually parts of a lever that you don't really need to bring up, I'll be honest, but I'll just show off how to do so. But you can actually use a different method, which is really nice. But our goal is to make our way up here and to utilize the lever that's at the very top of this. And if we do so, we'll actually, and I might drop one here, but if we do so, we'll be able to, yeah, do what we need to do with the light and have it reflect where it needs to actually reflect. So yeah, we don't actually have to do anything that I'm doing currently, though. We could just make our way up to the top and then deal with the lever. But I want to show off how the game, I guess, wants you to deal with it, especially since they give you parts of a broken lever. So we're going to attempt to do so with these Zonai hover stones as, yeah, we're just going to continue having it take us upwards. Now, let me go ahead and swap back to my electrical Lazul blade, just because it fits, you know, with the Gerudo aesthetic and all. But yeah, see, our goal is to bring this lever all the way up. As you can see, we can actually do so with ease. We got to continue using this hover stone. So what we want to do, and actually I just realized the battery is about to deplete, so let's go ahead and let them drop. We got to wait for this one as well. It will drop all the way down once the battery depletes. There we go. And now we're going to go ahead and just take this upwards, just a bit higher up, and it will be able to carry this one lever. It's such a meaningless thing to do because I want to show off a really easy way to just avoid all of this, but again, I want to show it off just in case, you know, why not? But okay, gotta wait for the battery to fully recover. There we go. And now let's go ahead and put this right above us. That will give us just enough height to easily bring the piece of this lever where it needs to be with Ultra Hand. Yeah, just like that. So we can just pick it up like so. There we go. And then just plop it right over here. And now we can just climb up ourselves. So, okay, like I said, you could have avoided this entirely if you didn't want to bring up this lever. Because as you can see, if we go ahead and fuse this lever to the round part of the actual machinery, yeah, we can rotate it. But I'm going to show off something. You could just use a weapon. Like, if you go ahead and grab especially a weapon that's kind of, you know, long and lanky like the lever handle itself, you can just go ahead and do this. And since Link won't be able to grab it, just use Ultra Hand to push it yourself. And that is how you do that without the need of the lever. So yeah, you could avoid this entirely. I find it cool that you're given the option, but again, clearly the game put these here for you to use them, so I just feel the need to do so. So there we go. Now let's go ahead and push it manually, though, the way the game wanted us to. And I mean, we spent all this time bringing it up here, so let's do it the right way. And just like that, if we get the light to reflect where it needs to be, yes, it's going to create a triangle. And well, Yeah, something special has happened. We should make our way to the center, as there seems to be light emitting from it. And this looks familiar to the mural that Riju was talking about. So let's now make our way there. We don't need to push this anymore. Didn't mean to do that. All right, yeah, so it's really cool. I love how we gotta literally make our way into the center. This reminds me of the Wind Waker. It had something similar with the Great Sea and also creating like a giant triangle, you know, in reference to the Triforce. And having to reach the center, you know, where it corresponds. And I think this is just overall really cool and a nice way to kind of tidy things up. So there we go. We have made it pretty easy to make your way to the center since it, you know, it's in the middle of all three locations. But as you can see, once we make our way there, Zelda, gasp, Link. Did you see that, Link? It's Zelda. What? She's gone. Yeah, this has already happened 3 times before, so we're not too surprised, but let's see what Riju has to say about it. I saw the lights of the red pillars and hurried here as quickly as I could. It cannot be a coincidence that we've seen someone who looked like Zelda twice, but a mystery for another time.
Oh?
Did you solve the mural's riddle and cause this to appear? I'm impressed. If I remember correctly, the mural said, "Unite the pillars in the light to reveal the lightning stone and open the way."
Oh.
Maybe my lightning strike is the key. Yeah, no surprise, that's what we need to do. So let's go ahead and strike it with our arrow, which will cause Riju to strike it with her lightning. And there we go. By solving the mural's riddle, we have caused the temple to emerge from the sand. And we have Riju's power of lightning on our side. When Riju's aura is charged, you can call her for a lightning attack, which is going to be very, very useful. It's no Urbosa's Fury, but it's actually really freaking nice, as when she's charged, we should go ahead and strike it with our arrow, and just like that, we got a terrifying lightning strike with each and every arrow we shoot, as long as she is charged and as long as it's in the aura, you know, the radius it covers. It's not going to be as big as it was within Gerudo Town, but it will still be big enough. Anyways, as you can see, the temple awaits for us. Let's go ahead and swap back to a fire elemental weapon, and so we could deal with the cold, as now it's really cold instead of really hot within the desert. But as you can see, yeah, the temple awaits. We can make our way there now, but if you do remember, obviously around this temple, since it emerged, we could see it on the map, which is pretty nice, but around the temple, when opening up each and every light pillar, we saw shrines, and I want to make my way to these shrines so we can upgrade one more time before we take on this temple. As you can see, there is one just south of Gerudo Town. If we continue down this way, we can see it from the far off distance. It's going to take our way, it's going to take us back into the Sand Shroud, which we'll have to deal with, but that's no big deal. And if you do continue down this path and make your way outside of where the temple is in its vicinity, that will also cause Riju to, you know, leave you for the time being, and we'll pair up with her later, as of course we don't have her on our side really. We're just there with her to take on the temple, like so with every one of the sages and taking on their temples. We won't really have Riju with us until we get her avatar, you know, the phantom spirit, because yeah, Tulin isn't really flying next to us. That is Tulin's avatar. So Riju, you know, she's a busy person. She has her own things to do. She's not going to follow us while we take on random shrines. And here we have made it to one of those random shrines. So let's quickly take it on. It was really easy to get to, of course, as we had to just glide our way there, thanks to the upwards draft that we can use to easily navigate through the sand. And now let's take it on. And surprisingly, this one was a blessing shrine. Yeah, so a super easy and straightforward one. You know, really the challenge of a blessing shrine is getting to the shrine itself, and then you're rewarded for your efforts. But as you saw, it was just really easy to do so. And I'll take it. I mean, it just means another shrine down. While I do like more of a challenge, I'm not going to complain because it's just going to get us stronger. And our goal is to do 2 more so we can have a total of 4, you know, blessings of light, and that way we can upgrade 1 more time to prepare ourselves truly for this next temple. So we were sitting on 1, we got another, and now we have 2 more left. So let's go ahead and leave and locate those 2. Now, since we're stuck in the sand shroud, let's just first teleport outside of here because we can't even see where we are on the map. And the best way and area to go to is Gerudo Town, as there's something I want to do there quickly to make traversing the sand even easier. So the main reason why I want to teleport back to Gerudo Town, outside of just resetting my surroundings, as leaving the sand shroud will make it a lot easier to navigate Gerudo Desert, but another thing that will actually make it really easy to navigate Gerudo Desert is something located within Gerudo Town, and that actually happens to be underneath this NPC, the same one who gave us this item in Breath of the Wild, that being Bozai. So I can hear voices. They're coming from below. Something about a secret? Could this be the reason the ghosts haven't moved on? Is it a secret about the monsters that doubtably killed them? So whatever he's guessing is far off. He's actually hearing voices from people that are in the secret Gerudo shop, also an area in Breath of the Wild that we needed a code to enter. But as you can see, this time it is securely blocked, as yeah, there's a crate covering the entrance, so we can't actually enter it, and they want to keep it down because, yeah, there could be monsters. Luckily, there are no Gibdos. We took care of them, so we don't have to worry about the monsters, but I guess I have to worry about Bozai hearing them, because Bozai is listening in and, you know, thinking they're ghosts or something. It's funny to see that Bozai made his way within Gerudo Town, even though it had to be destroyed for him to make his way in. But what we want to do is jump down this well here, as, yeah, this is a pathway underneath Gerudo Town, and we can even see some bottles. There are bottles all throughout it that have letters from Gerudo that we can read, but I'm going to ignore that. Why I came down here, though, is so I can find a secret pathway that will get me within that securely locked shop. And to do so, yeah, we want to make our way through this pathway here. So we'll find some rocks that we got to destroy. This will pretty much, yeah, give us access to a secret shop that, like I said, will give us access to items that Bozai in Breath of the Wild gave us. So you can already assume what that is. And okay, well, you know, throwing your weapon is a lot easier to deal with these rocks, as it destroys a lot more and doesn't really ruin the weapon durability. I guess this, you know, cave is just too narrow and tight for us to do so. Hopefully, okay, there we go. The throwing works now, just like that. And there we go. We destroyed enough that we need to destroy. So we can now ascend into the secret area that, yes, this shop holds. So yeah, just like that, we'll be right underneath the shop. And if you go ahead and ascend upwards, you'll actually make your way into the shop without having to deal with the crate. So just like that, we're in. It's pretty cool. And yeah, it's kind of funny because they should be completely shocked. Yeah, how did not only Evoke get in, but the door is blocked? But she's not trying to pry into customers. You know, like, what? You know, their business, like, come on, this is your business too. We're literally in your secret Gerudo Club shop, yet you don't really care? Okay, it's no big deal. At least we're here, and now we can do business with them, and that's all that matters, right? So here we can pick up the sand boots, and the snow boots, 2 things that we scam Bozai out of in Breath of the Wild. And you can also get the Desert Voe set, the rest of it, since we already have the headpiece. But I don't actually have enough money to buy really anything here because I kind of wasted my money on the headpiece in the last video. So let's go ahead and sell some stuff so we can have her buy from me. And, you know, the Gerudo love gems and, you know, all sorts of shiny materials. So we'll sell them some of that. I do have a good amount of that. That's probably the only thing that will get me good money, or if we cook a bunch of food. But let's just quickly get some money. So if I sell 2 of these, I'll pretty much have enough. I'll just need 2 rupees to buy the one thing I want to buy. But you know what? I don't want to be completely out of money. So let's sell a couple other things, maybe a couple of rupees. 4 rupees. I was gonna mispronounce it, but you get my point. Yeah, rubies for rupees. And there we go. Okay, we're sitting on a couple hundred extra than what I plan on spending, because what we do want to buy is the sand boots, and doing so will actually let us navigate the sand so much easier, as it gives you sand speed up. So it's like you're walking on normal terrain. You're not walking on sand. So this is very helpful when we're going to go back and forth and locate those shrines and everything like that. So definitely want to put it to use. Now we can leave. I could just send up and, you know, shock Bozai. But yeah, let's just go ahead and destroy this crate, because, you know what, screw it. This is what blocked me from getting in originally, so I want to take it out. And now let's go ahead and start making our way back to where the temple is, and search for the other 2 shrines that I want to quickly get before we start the temple. Well, we can start the temple now. Like I said, I want to at least complete 2 more shrines so we can upgrade one last time. It's cool that Boliara is actually staring south, you know, knowing where Riju is. She's not accompanying her, sure, but, you know, she's staring the direction of where her chief is. And to me, that's such a cool concept. But yeah, with the sand boots, as you can see, we can walk so fast. We don't need to rely on just shield surfing within the sand. It's super nice. I absolutely love this. And once we get close enough, Riju, yes, she's been waiting for us. So she'll rejoin us, as, again, she will leave if we leave too far from where the temple's vicinity is. So now that she's with us, we can continue on. But again, once we start making our way to a different shrine, she'll leave us once again. It's cool to see her running. Again, I prefer having the actual sages with you and not their avatars. But, you know, it's whatever. You know, at least we're not alone. So it's pretty nice. But eventually, if we move too fast, yeah, they can't keep up with us. Not even Riju. But there we go. So, okay, we're back where we need to be, where the temple is. I'm going to kind of use this as an area to kind of reset where I should be standing. Let's open up the map again. So now our goal is to make our way to another shrine, since, again, we're not going to have the map once we start reaching that shrine. And there happens to be one, yes, all the way to kind of the northwest of the area we're standing at. So let's start making our way there. It shouldn't be too hard, especially with the upwards drafts that we can find. Even if we make our way into the thick of it, you know, the sand shroud. Luckily, the yeah, okay, Riju's gonna leave. Luckily, the upwards draft gives us a better understanding of our surroundings and makes it a lot easier. So yeah, all we need to do is go ahead and find one of them. There we go, we found one. Let's pick up some of these shock fruit. I'm gonna ignore these Stalbacoblin. We don't need to deal with them. And now let's go ahead and ride this up, and we should be able to, yeah, there we go. See, I was gonna say, where was the shrine again? Because we kind of lost where it was and what direction we had to go. But there we go. We have found it once more, and now we can easily make our way there. Again, super nice, and obviously you don't have to do this now. You could do it later on, and you won't actually have a sand shroud to deal with, but why not? And it's a cool concept, locating these shrines within the sand shroud. And as you can see, they're still super straightforward and easy to do so might as well do them now. So let's take this one on. Now, unlike the previous shrine, this isn't a blessing one. This is actually a proving ground shrine, which are my absolute favorite ones to take on within the game, as we have to reset back to no items and use only what were provided, which make these challenges a lot more fun to take on. So let's go ahead and take on this one, this being lure, as we're gonna have to lure the enemies to us and find a way to dispose of them. And I really do like this one because, yeah, the enemies will kind of kill themselves, as you'll see. So yeah, As you can tell, there are a bunch of traps that we're gonna have to avoid here with these red laser beams. We just gotta make sure we don't, you know, trigger them, as a trap will ensue, and we don't want to deal with that. So let's go ahead and continue down. And yeah, our goal is just to lure the constructs into these. Now, I could hit this construct with my bow, but you know what? No, let's just fuse a weapon to this explosive barrel and just explode the platform it's standing on. This will be a lot better. And yeah, since Link chucks spears really well, you know, they're meant to be a throwing type of weapon, we were able to easily get rid of that platform. Pretty hilarious. And now I want the construct to kind of lure all of the other constructs to us. As you can see, just by them attempting to make their way to us, they're getting hit by the trap. So yeah, if they continue down this road, we don't even have to fight them really. We could just have them kill themselves, which is pretty cool. Again, that's the gimmick of the shrine, but we're gonna utilize it to its full potential. So just come here, buddy. Okay, that one's dead already. Now we have this one. Let's go ahead and avoid it. We want it to go ahead and run past. Okay, let's jump and avoid its attack. It was moving a bit too quickly. And since I have my bow out, I just realized I can't actually use Flurry Rush on it because it was not gonna let me swap my weapons mid Flurry Rush. But there we go. Now we can easily dispose of them while they're standing in the fire. This makes it so easy, so simple. And just like that, we have taken down the biggest and baddest construct of the bunch. And we can do the same with this one. If we keep just hitting it into the fire itself, yeah, there we go. Super easy, super simple. I love the concept behind these overall. And again, like the gimmicks that you have to kind of take on. This one's a bit easy, I'll be honest, but still, it's it teaches you just different concepts and having to deal with the enemy AI. And I don't know, I just love the whole concept of how the game's engine works and utilizing other things that don't just require the player's input. There's just something so special about this, and even though I want Zelda to move on from this style and of shrines and everything, I wouldn't mind for them to use the same engine with the next Zelda game and still give you this amount of freedom, but with the more cohesive story and, you know, maybe no more shrines. I love the shrines, but they're just small bursts of fun. I want a full-on dungeon to take on. But anyways, yeah, there we go. That does it for this shrine. It was fun, but again, gimmicky, simple. Once you understand what to do, it becomes super straightforward. Let's go ahead and now move on. Let's pick up whatever this has to offer, though. Hopefully something useful. Definitely. Okay, so we can replace the Captain Blade that we broke earlier. Let's get rid of that stick. Not needed. But there we go, another shrine down. Now one more to go, and then we'll be ready to actually focus on the temple itself. Again, just want to do some shrines within this video to pad it out and get some other stuff accomplished. But then after that, we'll actually focus on the actual temple. So let's move on. Now, again, I think the best way to kind of navigate moving forward is to make our way back to Gerudo Town, continue south from there, and then locate the shrine instead of having to, you know, trek through the sand shroud. Okay, so we're back in Gerudo Town. The last time we'll be doing this unnecessary, you know, trek back to where we need to be. But as we can see, the temple, it's not too far. It does look kind of far, but it will take us seconds to make our way there. So we shouldn't have to worry too much, especially with Tulin and having some air this time. Kind of changes how we tackle it. As you can see, we avoided the Gibdos that would have been standing underneath us. And again, with the sand boots, it's actually pretty simple and easy to kind of run through. And then we also, on top of it, we have this, where we could shield surf. And that should also trigger, yeah, Riju to rejoin us. The game kind of glitched for a second. It had a weird hiccup. It looked like Riju was going to join us, but it let us move a bit further, and then Riju let us know. But again, we're going to split from her within a bit once we make our way back. But yeah, there you go. See, it took literally a matter of seconds to make our way back to where we need to be, back standing in front of the temple once more. As you can see, I love the way the temple looks, but again, that's aside the point. Let's open up the map. So now our goal is the final shrine. That's over in the southern oasis, as you can see here. That is where the last one should be. It might be hard to pinpoint the light itself, but we should be able to see it, I do believe, if I just look hard enough. Gotta look through the fog. Yeah, you could see it. Barely, but it's there. And yeah, I pinpointed the shrine. As you can see, it's exactly where the southern oasis is. So perfect. Now let's go ahead and make our way there. This one's probably the furthest out of them, so why not use the map to kind of help? If, you know, you guys are following along, it will help navigate your way there. But there we go. Let's go ahead and now use this upwards draft, as once we make our way into the Shin Shroud, it won't really matter. Even if we have it pinpointed on our map, we won't be able to see the map. And again, Riju is going to leave us. We can't actually see her. She's on the ground technically, so kind of weird hearing her just talk when we can't actually see her. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue onwards. We should almost be there. Again, I feel like the upwards drafts makes the sand shrouds not that, you know, hard to deal with at all. As you can see, yeah, we're here. We're already at the southern oasis. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I do enjoy it. And again, I like the idea that, you know, we can find these shrines with ease, even with the hazard the game is trying to give us. Again, this is my least favorite out of all the other, you know, phenomena that we had to deal with, but it fits, of course. With it being a desert, it probably would be the most boring one, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and now take on the shrine so we can deal with the sand shroud within the temple. So let's first deal with this. Alright, I do believe the shrine is pretty simple and straightforward, but it does seem a bit glitchy. I might be exaggerating. We'll see how it goes this time around. But yeah, it's the drifting flame. So what we need to do is light this torch to light the torch that will actually open up the door. And we got to do something very similar moving forward. And this, again, could go easy for you, maybe not. We'll see how it works for me. So if you step on this, you'll see, yes, these torches that are hidden come down as long as the thing is pressed in, the switch. But that will also cause this platform we're standing on to drop. So what we want to do is have this candle that we're holding, essentially, be underneath where the torches will drop when we press the switch, if that makes any sense. And since I moved all around, we can go ahead and now press it, which will cause, obviously, the candle itself to drop down with the platform. But if we use recall, it should, and yeah, there we go. It kind of stopped still. There we go. See, this is what I meant by it being glitchy. It did kind of glitch. For some reason, I have to like get off and on the platform for it to continue moving within recall state. But hopefully that should do it. There we go. Okay. Not too bad. Not too many hiccups, but I could swear every time I did this, it would just kind of be all over the place. Luckily, it worked out pretty well. But if you do notice when you use recall on the candle, it not moving, just maybe step off the switch to cause the platform to drop a bit and quickly step back on. That should cause the recall sequence to continue. At least that's how I like to solve it. This is how I believe the game developers wanted you to solve it, but for some reason it's a bit buggy in a sense. Again, I might be exaggerating. Let me know how it goes for you if you do solve. I'm definitely curious, but there we go. That does that. Let's now move on. Okay, sadly, I don't want to actually make my way back to where the temple is from where we're standing, even though we're kind of close. Let's just make our way back to Gerudo Town, reset one more time, and then we'll head to the temple one final time. Now, obviously, there was another reason why I want to make my way back to Gerudo Town, and that is because we have 4 Lights of Blessing, which means we can now upgrade our hearts once more, or stamina, but I'm going to focus on hearts. Let me at least complete a full row before I go focus back on stamina. And speaking of which, I do believe we're literally 2 hearts away from having a full row of hearts. It's a lot more than Breath of the Wild, so obviously in total we could get a lot more hearts within the game. So it takes a while to reach your first row within this game compared to Breath of the Wild, but you know, that's because there's more to do, and to me, I'm not complaining whatsoever. So let's go ahead and upgrade our heart container. I believe by doing so, it will move one of our 2 yellow temporary hearts to the new row. We've been sitting on these yellow hearts for literally so long, but hey, at least now it will indicate and show that we have a new row to start on soon. So yeah, there we go. Another heart container down, and that will leave us with one more. Yep, we can easily see by the yellow heart moving down. Pretty cool. But okay, anyways, I do believe if I ascend right here, and this is the exact location, will be right next to Bully area. There we go. And now we can spook her like so. Yeah, there we go, an enemy. Yeah, she got a fright. I love how with Ascend you can like just, you know, scare the NPCs like so. Pretty nice. But okay, now let's go ahead and make our way back to Riju and actually take things on. And what I do want to do, since I really love the Lizalfo weapons, you know, we got the electric one, we got the flame one, let's use the ice horn we have and make a ice weapon as well. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty badass. I love the way they look. The horns are so cool within this game, and I love the whole idea of, you know, having elemental weapons through enemies. You know, in Breath of the Wild, of course, we had elemental weapons, but they were just their own kind. You know, we just had ice swords and great swords and such. But now in this game, we can have so many different ice weapons and so many different other elemental weapons, depending on the enemy and, you know, what they drop and everything. I do have to say, though, the Lizalfo horns are usually the best looking because they actually look like blades. But that's all aside the point. Yeah, now that we have teamed back up with Riju, we are now set to make our way to the temple. And this time I'm not going to get sidetracked with anything else. I'm finally ready to take on the temple itself. So there you go. We have reached it. As you can see, the temple awaits. It actually looks so huge and grand. I'm really excited to take this one on, I'll be honest, because I love the way this temple works, and I'd have to say it's one of my favorite ones. It really feels like a temple. So yeah, Riju of Gerudo Town, we gotta accompany her as we do this. So let's get started by making our way down here. And once we get close enough, it should indicate that we have reached the temple itself. We'll figure out the name and all of that, but that will be next time. So thank you all so much for watching. I've been Ziem, and catch me as we take on the next temple within the game, Done.